What's up? This is Oli from All That Remains, and you're watching So Fucking Cool.
Alright, So Fucking Cool with Oli from All That Remains. How you doing, brother?
Alright, man.
How's the tour going so far?
Oh, it's going great.
Very cool, very cool. Doing a push for the new album. It's always got to be interesting.
Yeah, man, I like when we come out with a new album, we get to play some new songs. You know, it's time to make the band kind of reborn. You know, it refreshes everybody's batteries in a sense, and you know, hope people dig it.
Right? Well, it's got to be harder this day and age, though. You know what I mean? I mean, with everyone with a download here or download there, you got to keep the push going. I mean, the road is honestly where
you have to tour.
Yeah.
And I love touring. So, I mean, there's no place I'd really rather be than on the road.
Right.
So it works for me.
Yeah, it definitely works for you, for sure.
You know.
After this, you guys wrap up, I think, in about a month, and you guys are going to go overseas, is that right?
Yeah, in early June. For about almost 2 weeks. Play some festivals.
That's cool. And then the rest of the summer, what do you guys got planned? Anything yet? Or
we
no?
got some one-off festivals here and there. Probably some sort of a tour in the fall, but you know, all that's kind of in the distance right now.
Cool. Now, how do you feel about the way everything's been changing? I mean, this day and age, rock and roll is kind of taking a back seat. I mean, for me being a rock fan my whole life, it's so disappointing to go ahead and see a fucking DJ that you know just push play on the CD standing up there, selling out arenas nonetheless.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Talking about
Deadmau5, fucking Aoki, you know, I mean, I can go on and on.
It kind of has to do with, you know, people think music should be free because it's so available. So they're like, well, why should I have to pay for it? That kind of a thing. That's why when you say people hire a DJ instead of hiring a band, you know, in that kind of sense. But people that are actually fans of the music will come out. You just have to give them something to come out for.
Right, right.
I don't mind working harder and working as hard as I possibly can to give them something worth seeing.
Right.
You know, it's a more competitive market, but I think it separates the wheat from the chaff, as it were.
Now, with everyone out there, with rock changing the way it is, there's so many flash in the pans. There's like the music that these new kids are putting on, I wouldn't even consider rock and roll anymore these days.
I mean, rock and roll, you know, back in the 50s was 3 chords.
Right, right.
You know, and if you were to ask someone in the 60s, you know, a 60s artist would be like, well, this isn't the same rock and roll I grew up with. It's a constantly evolving type thing. Obviously, you know, hip-hop and country are the biggest forms of music in the world. Country being the biggest, so that has made its way into mainstream rock, you know.
Steven Tyler just put out a country.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It sells. You know, people like it, so that's really what drives our country. You know, people like it and it sells, then people will come up with it.
Right, right. Do you ever think that there's ever going to be a face behind rock and roll again? I mean, do you think there's ever going to be an Ozzy or an Axl Rose or anything like that?
I think someone will come along that will just get sick of just the sameness of everything, and like an Alice Cooper, or you know, someone that really shakes things up. I mean, to be honest though, like we've seen over the past 40, 50 years, I think this country has kind of seen it all. You know, I don't know what the next big thing could possibly be. Right, right. You know, are you gonna like cut yourself on stage and just bleed everywhere? I mean, that's you got Slipknot with the masks. You got Alice Cooper with the theatrics. You know, you got bands with complete face paint. You know, I think it really boils down to the music at the end of the day. You know, are you gonna see a band that sounds terrible but they put on a cool show? I mean, maybe once, but all the time, probably not. You know, when you see a band, the music that you like, of course you don't want them to just stand there. But if the music is good, I think that was the most important factor. Right, yeah, definitely. And I definitely believe in having the best possible show you can have. But if you build yourself just on a gimmick, I don't think you're going to have any lasting potential. For sure. That's my opinion. Yeah, I mean, people get tired of the same thing. I mean, you might want to go check it out once or twice, but after that, it's just like, what are they going to do now? A good example of a band that can do both, a band Guar.
Yeah.
You know, and I knew about their music. You know, I was like, these guys have some pretty cool stuff. And then watching them play every night perform, obviously the theatrics was amazing. But the fact that they could play some pretty technical stuff cleanly every night, and Otis was a pretty damn good singer, you know.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, of course.
Definitely.
I was like, wow, these guys are really talented, and like, if I put on all that stuff, could I see my fretboard very well? That takes you know, you're probably suffocating in there, you know,
right.
Not a hydration necessary. I think their drummer told me, he's like, I have 10 waters before I go on stage.
You gotta do something to get prepared
that takes
for that. Yeah.
discipline, it takes commitment, you know, and that's a band I think that is a perfect balance of theatrics and songwriting ability. You know, they write stuff that's fun, catchy, and some of it's pretty damn technical metal, and they definitely evolved with the times. So I always will love Guar.
Yeah, well, I mean, Guar was one of the best in the world. They still are doing good, but right now you see the drama, unfortunately, on the Facebook and the social media. They just kicked Kim out. Kim, she was Velvetron.
Oh, yeah.
And she's going back and forth between the band, saying, "Why'd you kick me out?" Why, you know, this.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, with a band like the size of Guar or the size of Slipknot, you know, the more people that are in the band, the less money per member is being made. And, you know, sometimes that's a consideration. I don't know any details of that, but, you know, well, it goes back to earlier. If you can be one guy pressing a button,
yeah, you're right.
You collect the big paycheck. I mean, it's
for sure.
A little more incentive. But, you know, I personally like to see if there's 5 sounds coming out of there, I want to see 5 musicians.
Definitely.
If you have like little layers in the background, that's cool. But if it's prominent parts, you know, let me see the guy play.
Yeah, definitely. Now, with us talking about social media, with the fight, with Guar, everything's being public. All these fans out here feel almost entitled to know everything about a band because they want to see your Instagram, your Twitter, your this.
Yeah,
your that.
I think the line's been crossed. I think privacy in this country in general is just out the window. You know, when I was a grown up as a kid, we had a very strong sense. America just felt like it was a stronger sense of who it was, and especially with the privacy thing. And you know, before the advent of the internet, you didn't know what a band's set list was going to be. You didn't know like what their favorite, you know, soda was or something. You know,
yeah, what they're eating for lunch right now.
And it's it's too much. There should be some element of mystery.
Right. Yeah. Definitely.
You know, I mean. I don't want to know everything about everybody. There's some things that are just best not to know.
Right.
It kind of destroys it. You know, it's like knowing a magician's tricks. I'd rather be amazed by it and say, "Wow, that was magic," even though I know that it's an illusion. But it's
for sure. Yeah, you want some mystery. You want some mystique of what's going on.
Like
there.
if you order, like, let's say food. Do you ask the chef every single detail of what was put in there?
Yeah.
You eat it and it tastes good, and that's good enough.
For sure.
You know?
Definitely. I mean, that's going back to what we were talking about as far as rock stars and who's this or that. It's so hard to be a rock star this day and age because all these kids think they know you on a personal level now. You know what I mean? There's no more.
How do you define rock star?
How do I define rock star? I'm just saying. Like,
I have a feeling how I know how, but I want to hear what you think.
When I define rock star, I think it's something back in the day of AC/DC. I think of like someone that's going to blow my mind. You know, I want to imagine
David Lee Roth.
Yeah. I want
in 1984.
Exactly. Yeah. I want to imagine that backstage is going to be amazing. I want to think that there is crazy things going on.
You know what goes on backstage?
Yeah, I know exactly what goes on. Yeah.
Did you get that email I sent? Cool. You know,
I'm gonna take a nap. Yeah,
it's like a ramshackle office. Mm-hmm. You know, and I grew up. You know, I started playing in the late '80s, and I grew up with all that in my head. Like, wow, there's gonna be like, you know, sex, drugs, rock and roll, craziness. You know, and times have changed, my friend.
Definitely have. They definitely have.
You know, maybe, you know, I guess again, the internet I think has made us people can get inside their own minds more, be more introspective.
I would just like the fact that back in the day, I could imagine that something amazing was going on, but now...
And you never heard about it because there was no internet.
Exactly.
And it was like, everything is exaggerated and cloaked in mystery. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of the way I want it to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, the other aspect, though, is these fans can turn on you so quick. I mean, I know that you guys had some controversy for some of the things you posted on Twitter and things like that, but it's almost just to get everyone's goat out there. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I mean, it's not like so serious. Like this is my feelings this day. It's almost just say, you know what? I'm gonna toss this shit out there and see where it leads to.
I feel like if you take to heart too many things, let too many negative things affect you, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Right.
You know, I know it sounds a little bit, you know, lame, but like I always try to think positive thoughts. I always work on the betterment of myself or the band. I don't put other people down. I don't think negative because I don't want them coming back at me. And it's just a better way to live.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if the glass is always half full, or if you're not expecting anything and good things happen, then you appreciate it more.
Right, right.
You know, and I think it's good to be humble and just don't expect everything.
I gotta admit though, it's a little bit more harder these days though. When you got the internet trolls that are out there, it's so easy. Everyone's a tough guy behind a keyboard.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's a coward behind a keyboard.
Yeah, for sure.
It doesn't matter because when you know, I do what I do for a living. I live the life that I live, and I'm happy with it. And until you can walk in my shoes and tell me that I'm a sellout or whatever, you need to walk in my shoes first.
Right, right.
You know, I'm up there giving all I can every night, really trying to, you know, present the best guitar player for all the Remains that I possibly can.
Right.
You know, I don't always meet those, you know, guidelines or whatever, but I do my best.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, one thing that you got to understand that this is an amazing job, but it is a job. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, I've never had a sick day.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, you know, our drummer right now is out. He hit his tooth, drumstick. You know, freak accident, and now he's getting mouth worked on, and it's, you know, we got Ben from Whitechapel filling in, and he's doing a great job. But you know, if something happened to me, like if I broke my legs, you bet your ass I'd be out there in a chair playing my guitar.
For sure.
I couldn't walk because I just couldn't do that. But, you know,
yeah.
If I broke my hands, well, you know,
that's the one thing that can stop you. Unfortunately,
that will stop me. You know, it's just you tough it out. You do what has to be done. You know, you have to respect the fact that if people are paying good money to see you, and by good money, I don't care if it's a $20 ticket or a $50 ticket. It's still, they made the effort to leave their house, pay for parking, buy a shirt. You know.
Yeah.
It's a commitment to come out to a show, and I totally appreciate it when people come out, and I'm not going to half-ass it up there and be like, oh yeah, it's just another day for me. Well, it's not. It's not just another day for them. No,
it's an experience. You know, when you go to a show, it's a memory. It's a memory. It's a story. You know what I mean? I mean, if you go out and see somebody and they're just like, man, this fucking sucked, they're going to say that shit. But if they see an amazing show, they know you gave it their all, they're going to go ahead and tell everybody, I had the best time. What'd you do last night? I went and seen all that Remains, and it was amazing.
We're all sharing an experience, the band and the audience. You know, like we'll come off of, like last night we played Pittsburgh.
Right.
Amazing show. We all came off stage, the crowd was happy, we were happy, we experienced something together. If we just stood there and the crowd just stood there, well, that would have sucked for both parties.
Yeah, definitely.
And, you know, you don't want that to happen.
How do you react to a crowd that's not doing what you need them to do?
I work harder.
Right.
You know, I try to entertain. You know, my thought on this, if someone likes you, that's great. If someone hates you, that's also good. Because then you can piss them off and you can get in their face and you can entertain. It's like a heckler for a comedy.
Okay.
If someone is indifferent towards you, that's bad. You know, when you're ignored, you want to be able to connect with your audience and make them feel as if they're a part of it. Even if they don't care about what you're playing,
right.
I try to engage them any way that I can, you know. I think I learned that on the Guar tour when, you know, we had a lot of people come out for Guar and they hated all the opening bands. And we were an opening band.
Right.
And we had to learn how to be tough and, you know, just say, hey man, you're not the band that people want to see, but you have to make them not hate you. And I enjoyed learning how to do that. That was good on-the-job training.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, well, fuck.
You know,
you're getting thrown in the
every
fire
day
for there, right?
Every day is on-the-job training.
Definitely.
You know, every day is a test. And as I say, I take every day as it comes. Tonight, will it be as good as Pittsburgh? I don't know. We'll be better. I'll try to play my best, and hopefully the crowd will react.
All right.
If they paid us, then so be it. I did my best.
That's all that matters, man.
That's all I can do.
People want to follow up. They want to know more about you. They want to see more tour dates. They want to know when the next record, this or that. Best way.
Just go on our website.
AllThatRemains.com.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty easy to find the information. Also, too, if you have a particular venue that you go to a lot, you type in town ballroom, you see a list of days. Oh yeah, they're coming to my area soon.
Cool.
I missed a lot of shows as a kid because we didn't have internet, and I didn't know when a band was coming. It was all, oh, did you hear that Death is coming to the Vertex? Like, ooh, wow.
Right.
But sometimes you miss it. So that's all I can say about that.
Cool. All right, man. Appreciate your time.
Right on.
Thank you.